The poem I want to read you today and also talk about it is from the times when you just broke up with somebody, so everything is fresh and anything and everything can trigger you and it will trigger you. The problem is that when you stay in some form of contact with that person, so for example in this age when you stay with them in contact through, or not even in the contact, but when you stay connected. For example, for the person I broke up, I still have him in my social media. Looking back at the situation, I think my healing would be so much, not so much, but it would be easier to heal, and perhaps it would be even quicker if I wouldn't have him on my social media. But I also knew that I did it because I just wanted to check up on him if he's okay, and perhaps to see some updates of his life even later on. And I think this was my official reason of why I kept him on my social media, but I'm also pretty sure that at the time I just couldn't delete him, because if I would delete him from my social media, and it's not even about blocking him, but it's about deleting that person, like unfollowing that person from social media, it felt like that I would lose anything that I had, that last string of the relationship, because we broke up, we ended things. So if I would unfollow him, even though it sounds stupid, that was my last little string that was kind of tying me up to him. And at that time when I was going through that heartbreak, I just couldn't do it. I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't handle even that last snip of that thread. I just couldn't. So I kind of came up with, yeah, I just want to check up on him. Even though it was true, I think it was more true that I just wasn't able to do it. And now when I'm kind of like, it's almost 2 years after the breakup, I still have him on my social media, but it's so much easier, and it's like, yeah, it happened and we healed, we are continuing on, and I believe there's somebody else for me now. But it took me many, many months, and I truly believe that if I didn't have him on my social media back then, that my healing would be so easier. But I just couldn't delete him. So the universe or whatever you are believing in, they were like, so you are not deleting that person from your social media, I still kind of want to have him in your life. Okay, so let's give you some emotions about this person. And the danger of this is that when you are in this state, you are so vulnerable and you are so fragile. You literally cannot handle anything. Everything will trigger you. You will cry. It doesn't matter if it's stupid, if it's the most stupid thing, you will just cry. And I did. And it wasn't even crying, because this felt like truly like a betrayal. And I had a mental breakdown. I had such a mental breakdown. It was one of the heaviest cries I cried during that breakup. So I would like to read you the poem so you will understand more, and perhaps you will also feel more in this situation, or you will understand where I'm coming from. And I called it Unwanted Visits. So let's go. My loyalty is a love token that will follow you anywhere. 100% of the love, the energy, the trust, and the care. That is my rare decision from which the consequences I'm willing to bear. The heart may stand before the open door, but I'm ready to pay a fare. It is not in my power to guide your decision. I wouldn't even want to have that kind of permission. Maybe it would be easier to get in, or less painful division, but that wouldn't really align with my locksmith's precision. So when you gave me your phone to read the conversation, when you wanted to give me an explanations, the reassurance I didn't even ask for during our whiskey meditation, I read the first two messages and returned the phone with a peaceful sensation. In that moment, you gave me a different reassurance I don't think you know about, an act I didn't ask for, shutting and locking any doors of doubt. It was everything for my love token to begin to sprout. It was more than I could ever scout in the messages. It shouted. I don't have a snooping part in my nose, confident in my everyday expose. No need to try to lock your doors that only you can close, not sabotaging the same peace I want to enclose. I love the sentences were flowing from your mouth on their own, when you were showing me the old stories of your life on your phone, when you were revealing me a non-disclosure zone. I loved how your color slowly shifted from dark to light tone. I did the same for you in the mere consistency, and I would not have it any differently. Even if someone offered to pay me for knowing all about you instantly, I would decline it violently, because your lips were saying it magically. Your tempo carried an understanding of reality perfectly paired with all the rationality. My trust was met with equality, and in that lay our sensuality. And when those conversations suddenly stopped, when your presence began to fade, my arched lips began to drop. When the warmth of your arms disappeared, when your address was suddenly swapped, I stood before a stranger's door, not being cheered. Actually, reading the unwelcome sign on the doormat, my eyes teared. Your unspoken actions were thrown in my face, smearing my mascara as you dimmed the lights, creating an unscripted eclipse. And when I took a step back, the things I never realized made me sleep. I didn't lose just my weekend fleas or my lover. I lost my friend I still desired to fully discover. I could no longer visit nor write as with no other, so I did the thing I know I should cover. I know I shouldn't click on your profile just to see a picture of you. I know that it's my newly found issue. The stories are traps I always get caught in just to get a short view. Maybe I just want to see if my absence is also making you a little blue. And all I see is the luxurious rooftop bar view. So I visit your profile as I used to visit you just a few weeks ago, looking for nothing, only deceiving myself that you are still here in this fading glow. Only to see your following number is not in yesterday's low, but it was only a few days after goodbye, so how could it grow? I knew I should stop and lock the screen, but I couldn't shake the anxious feeling. 2 minutes to reveal the new exotic dye. 2 seconds to break down, my soul drowning in silent scream. You had every right, but I never felt more betrayed. I never knew goodbye meant an instant trade. Perhaps it was nothing, or maybe you just needed an exotic upgrade. I don't know, but my heart was commonly sprained. It was the day I shakily tried to explain I don't know what to my friend with violently cracking voice and no breath. I couldn't pretend. It was the first day when the shattering reflections made my waist bend. The day I swore I would never again open that door descent, because that's a pointless death. Okay, let's dive straight deep into the poem, and I mean deep into it. Now you can probably understand more of what I was trying to tell you at the beginning of the video, or what I was trying to say. So as you probably already noticed, or you probably are fully aware now, that I basically had a mental breakdown because the person I was dating, he started to follow another girl, and that fact, it broke me down. For there was layers to it, but at first it broke me down because of the fact that he started to follow another girl. Because literally, it was, I think, like, it wasn't even a week after we stopped talking, after we broke down. And I know that everyone copes differently with breakups, but for me, the fact that he started to follow another girl, and when the girl had open profile, she was so beautiful, like she was so sexy, so beautiful. And the fact that he started to follow that kind of girl that has like all the half naked pictures of her online, nothing wrong with it, but the fact that he started to follow that kind of girl, it was for me like, what? And I think the hurt came from the feeling that, why did you started to follow her few days after we stopped talking? Was I your trophy? I literally felt like, was I only a trophy play? Did you just wanted to sleep with me? Did you wanted just to win me? What was the problem? Or is this how you cope with the breakup? And are you not missing me? It was so non-understanding to me. I couldn't understand it. I even now, like, the emotions that I can feel when I go back to that moment, to that feeling of what I felt, it is something And I'm so thankful that I don't understand this, and that I will probably never understand that kind of emotions or that kind of acting, because for me, I couldn't even look at other people. Literally, if there was a half naked man that was fully sexy, fully shredded, I didn't even look in his direction, because even though the person, yes, maybe in terms of sexiness, he wasn't near as sexy as that other person, I didn't even look at him, at that other person, because I was like, you are not him, you are not him. Physically, I couldn't look at any other person, nor to think about them in any sexual way. I was stuck months in that heartbreak. Like, I didn't want to look at any other person. And I know that's my coping of heartbreak. But when that person started to follow somebody else just a few days after we broke up, after we stopped talking, that was for me such an also betrayal, but I think heartbreak. It was more of a heartbreak because why am I crying? And now I kind of don't care. When I look at it, I'm like, yeah, he can do whatever he wants. But going back to those emotions were this strong that even though I am fully healed, I'm fully welcoming another man in my life, somebody who will fit me and everything. But going back to those emotions, this is how those emotions, this is how hard they were. And back at the moment when I wasn't healed at all, when I was crying my heart out, how could he do it? How could he do it? Because the thoughts, he set it me up, or I set it myself up, because we were still following each other. But I truly questioned if anything that happened between us was real or not. And truly, to be honest, like, my friends were having all kind of opinions about it, and those opinions weren't helping at all, because if what they were saying were true, or if what some of his actions after the breakup were hinting on, it meant that nothing of it was true. But it was like, so who was that person I was with? Because he did amazing things, he did such an incredible things, he was really like detail oriented about me. But the fact that he truly started to follow somebody else, that made me question everything and anything. And I know that he can do it, and that perhaps it didn't mean anything, but only the fact that he was able to move on, or that it seems that he moved on that quickly, that took me down. That took me down so hard. So this was the first aspect of it. Sorry, I see a spider on my ceiling. Shit. Okay, let's not look there. The second aspect of it is that I started the poem basically that my loyalty is a love token that will follow you anywhere, that I will give you my 100%. I will give you my care, my love, my trust. I am not jealous in toxic way. I will trust you, and you can tell me the things you are comfortable with. Yes, I would love to know everything about you, but I understand that some things will come only with some time. They will come with the right time. And I don't need to go snoop in your phone or to blog your following list, so then I will see like who you followed now. I don't need to do any of it, and I never done it. It's not in my bones. I don't have any snooping part in my nose. I don't care what you do. Oh no, I care. I care very much what you do, but I don't care about it in this jealous way. I don't. And I can actually really appreciate when the person is open with me and honest, and when they are saying things as they are. So I am the kind of person that, please tell me even the hard truth. I would love to have with you even the difficult conversation. I will listen to your opinion even if I don't agree with it, for example. I will listen to it, then I will try to find some perspective in it, and I will tell you my opinion. I will be honest with it. Basically, I can appreciate everything and anything, and I'm so open-minded, and I'm being so tolerated. Basically, I'm doing it all, and I will say this with absolutely me not being cocky, but I think like I'm truly the best kind of person you will meet. I won't judge you, I will support you, I will listen to you, I will tell you my opinion, I will do it all. I will do it all, and I will do anything you want me to do. And I will also give you my energy. And with that person, it felt like we are doing it in mirror consistently. As we began to know each other more, as we began to spend more time with each other, we truly started to open up more. Because we began to trust each other, and suddenly we were telling each other even things that are kind of like non-disclosure zone, that aren't truly meant to be said in front of everyone. Or basically you have some things, you have some things that you won't be telling stranger about. You need to have some trust, you need to know that person a little to tell them those things. And we had this kind of relationship that as the time went on, we began to open up to each other more, and I liked it so much because I could understand why it's happening like that. For example, he had some business, and even now, like, I'm not sure what he was fully doing. Like, I am, if I will say that I know 50% about it, I'm not sure if I'm not lying, because he wasn't even secretive about it, but he weren't really saying me things about his business, and I didn't ask. That's the fact, that I didn't ask about it, because I could understand why is he not talking about that business. Because when you meet somebody new, you can't be just talking about your business. And for example, for me, it was more personal. That I remember that he asked me, I think like 2 weeks after we started talking with each other, to play my Spotify. I was like, nah, I didn't want to play my Spotify. So for him, it was like more business side, and for me, it was more personal side, more of my heart. Because for somebody, it might be so stupid to share or to play their Spotify, but for me, it felt like I'm kind of letting him in, because some of my songs, yes, there are some pop song, or songs that are being played on radio and everyone knows them, but then there are some songs that if you would listen to them, they can tell you things that, okay, she has these kind of songs in her album, or in her playlist. And that was for me something that I wasn't ready to share. So I wasn't ready to share my heart, or yeah, I wasn't ready to share my mind with him on that level, because I didn't know if I didn't know if I can trust him. So we were kind of both doing this, but I think he also understood that, okay, she just don't want to because she's not ready yet. So we kind of lived, or we lived, we kind of were in this dynamic, and I liked it so much, because I truly felt that we are both so mature and we can understand each other. So then when the doors were suddenly forcefully shut, and when his warmth disappeared, and when I didn't get any time to adjust, it felt like I was suddenly standing before the stranger's door, not being cheered. And when I look at the ground, there was like unwelcome mat, and there was like, I just came to you, I just came visit you, and you just shut the door on me, and there's like unwelcome mat. Like, who is this stranger? Because this is not the person that I was just talking about. Like, who is this stranger? So I just took a step back, and I was so, who is this? Who is that person? And then as I was looking at that closed door with some stranger's name on it, I was, all the thoughts, all the hidden truths, or perhaps the sign that I was kind of like ignoring, or the things that my gut feeling was whispering to me, it made me cry. It made me cry. And then there came the realization that I lost that person, but it wasn't just my weekend fleas, like the person I was running off to, or my lover. It truly began to feel like he's my friend. He became my friend that I liked. He was my friend that I was writing with. He was my friend I was sharing silly little things with. But suddenly, I didn't lost only that lover. I lost also my friend, and it was like, why did I lost you? Like, we still had some knowing to do about each other. Like, we still were supposed to spend some time together. So where are you now? You were here yesterday. Why is there a stranger's door before me today? So I just visited his profile. As we truly stopped talking, I was visiting his profile every day. I remember waking up when I slept for at least a couple of hours, when I got some sleep finally. I remember waking up, and I think there was probably some tears dried on my cheeks, and I woke up and I just opened my phone and I just went on his profile. And the funny thing is that that little jerk, sorry, that little jerk doesn't even have there any pictures, like he literally has there only his profile picture. So I was just looking at that profile picture, and you can actually, with some profile, when the person has it enabled, you can, when you click on the profile picture on Instagram, it will like make it bigger. So I was just looking at that one stupid profile picture, and I was just lying in my bed, and even for like half an hour I was just like staring at his profile picture and crying. That's all I could do. I just stared at the picture and cried, because that's all we had. And also, like, the funny thing is that I couldn't even kind of look back at some photos from the time we were together, because we literally don't have any picture together. We never took a picture together, because we were both kind of like, perhaps not secretive, but we kind of didn't really like took pictures that much, so we don't have any picture. We have some stupid pictures, as when we were on some dates. So for example, we took picture of the snow, or we took pictures of the diner nuggets we were eating one evening, but we don't have any picture of us. So it's like we never even happened to some aspect of the situation. So I was just looking at the Instagram picture, and I was crying all the time, and so hard, and for so many months, with that picture in my hand, because that was all I got. So I was visiting his profile every day, so I kind of memorized his following and all those things. And I will be honest, I saw his following before, but I will tell you the difference. I saw his following before when we were together, because when you are with somebody and when you start to getting to know each other, I just wanted to check, or I just wanted to see what or who is he following, but it was more in a way that what are his interests, what does he like. Is there something for me? I have in my personal profile, I have some poetry, I have there some art, so I have there animals. So it's like, what are your like interests on social media? And I was looking at this. That's fully honest, that's all I was doing. I only looked at it, but I wasn't searching. And that's the difference. I saw his following list before, I wasn't searching. And as I was visiting his profile so often, naturally I remembered all the numbers, or the following numbers he had there. And suddenly his following number, or the people he followed, like it increased by one. And I was like, interesting. It was interesting because he went to another country, so I was like, yes, it's natural that you will get to know their somebody, but like, you were there for like what, 2 days, and you are not feeling good. Basically, you went there a little bit sick, so you should be laying in your bed getting better. So how did you already manage to know somebody? But more than this, it was my gut feeling. And if you had that gut feeling, I don't even need to explain to you more. I just had my gut feeling, and I could feel my stomach getting shrinked, like, and I could feel it getting from my stomach to my throat. And I was like, stop it. Just stop it. Dominika, don't go there. Stop it. Just lock the screen. Go do something. I couldn't stop. I just needed to know. And it's that feeling that that it will absolutely broke you. Sorry. It's that feeling that it will absolutely broke you, but it's like you need to get that confirmation that it's true, that it's not only your gut feeling, that it's not in your head. It's kind of like you need that slap on the face, or in the punch in your stomach, like you need it. So I went there, and I found that beautiful girl, and I was like, I think I blocked that girl. But I blocked her on my personal profile, but I think it was for me to stop actually going on her profile. That feeling when you just go on that girl profile, and you're not just snooping, you're not even like snooping around, but it's like you are just going over her photos and seeing how she's beautiful and all those things. And I did it like, I think 2 times, and then I blocked her. I just blocked her. And since that day, I never opened his following list. I was like, I don't care what is happening there. I don't care what is... I can't care. Like, literally, I cannot care what is happening there. What is happening in your life, who you are following. I cannot. Because that is destroying me. It is literally destroying me. First, the fact that he posted from some luxurious rooftop bar. Then also I clicked on the location, or on the name of that bar. Do you know what I saw? I saw like amazing looking women who are like so sexy and like So you could see like, okay, so that's kind of bar where all the beautiful people go, or all the beautiful women in short dresses, high heels go. So you are there, right? Like 2 days after breakup, then you're following another girl. It took me down so much, so I actually swear to my friend, but to myself also, that I will never ever again open that list, that following list. And I swear on my small bird. I swear on my bird I have since 2002. So I was like, never freaking again. Because after that happened, I remember that I called. I think I also recorded some voiceover to my friend, absolutely crying. But then I also called with my friend, with my other friend. I was on a FaceTime with her, and I'm so thankful actually for my friends during that time. So if we are going through this is our FaceTime. Do you understand? If you don't have anyone to FaceTime, and if you are going through this is our FaceTime. This is our me and you time. Is it? Because it helped me so much when I had that FaceTime with my friend. And my friends were so sweet at the time because they were checking up on me. Literally, even the friends I weren't so much in the contact, they were writing to me, they were calling me, like, how are you feeling? And they were like, yes, if anything is on your mind, just record me a voiceover. And I remember I recorded them so many times, like voiceover of I'm so thankful for my friends because I recorded them voiceover of me crying. Like, this is happy, this is kind of like happy tears. They were like ugly tears of me crying, and I was like whatever I had in my mind, I just went off. And with that one friend, I was on a voice call for I think like 2 hours, and I had mental breakdown. Like, I cried so hard for like half an hour, and I'm kind of like looking back, I'm sad for it, for myself, for what I went through, because I kind of went through that heartbreak, and nobody in my, like, I still lived with my parents, and nobody, and my brothers, and nobody even knew that I was kind of dating that guy. They had some thoughts about it, or they kind of suspected something, because I was kind of running off like every weekend, or like during the week I was running off like 2 to 3 times, so, and wasn't coming home during the night, so they suspected something. But I didn't really know, and we never talked about it. So when we broke up, it was like, I want to cry, my heart is absolutely shattered, and I need to act like nothing is happening before them. So I was crying here, kind of trying to be quiet so nobody will know anything, and I was trying to explain to my friend, I don't know what. I don't know what I was trying to explain to her. First, I kind of went over the situation, like what happened, what triggered me, and I'm not sure what I was saying to her. I'm not sure, I don't want to remember what I was saying to her, because those emotions, those were loud, like feeling those emotions, even from back then when I channeled those emotions, or when I go back, never again, never again. I'm doing this because this is me being proud of my work, me representing my work, me helping anyone who needs to hear these words. This is me, but this is not me going back to that feelings because I want to feel it again. I don't want to feel it again. So I remember from that call I had, the one thing I remember is that I couldn't breathe. It's not even that I couldn't stop crying. I cried so much that I was like, you know, those feelings when you're kind of like choking on air. I was doing that for so many minutes, and then I was like, okay, I need this to stop. I kind of, my mind was trying to restart itself, and I was like, okay, what do we need to do? Some solution. Think, try to think. And I was like, actually, can I tell you my advice as if you were in my shoes? And that thing, it helped me so much, because I'm the person that people oftentimes go to advice, and they want to hear my opinion. And as I am really open-minded, and I can think like in broad schemes, and I can see bigger picture, not only I can see also small picture but also big picture, and this ability is kind of making me a good person to talk to or to go to advice. So I was like, okay, we need to think somehow. And I just was like, can I give you advice if this was happening to you? And if you are a person that gave advice at least to one person with their life, or with anyone, with anything, give yourself the advice. Literally, sit, if you don't have a friend, sit against the mirror or just pause this video, and everything I just told you, all the emotions you just saw, give me your advice. What would you do in that situation if you were my friend who is listening to me? You are my friend who is listening to me. What's your advice? And we can switch. I might be in your situation. I might be in the situation you are going through. What's the advice? Just put yourself out of your shoes, out of that situation, and give that advice. Because the funny thing is, I don't really remember what kind of advice I gave myself or the exact words, but I remember how it made me feel and how it kind of changed the train of my emotions. I gave myself the words that I needed to hear. I was kind of really gentle with myself because I was like crying through it, and I was like, yeah, and I know that you probably don't want to hear this, but you need to do this, and something. Just give yourself advice, and that will help you. That I am promising you, that will help you. Give yourself an advice, because the funny thing is that you already know the answer, or something in you already knows the answers. The answer is already written, but it's just up to you and your emotions and what you can take at the moment. If you are ready, or it's not even if you're ready for those emotions, because you are never ready for those emotions. I wasn't ready for anything from this book. I wasn't ready to see that bar. I wasn't ready to see that girl. I wasn't ready for the breakup, for anything, but I just needed it. So I kind of, that's the thing, that the world, the emotions, the people, they don't ask you if you are ready. You are never asked like, hey, you will get a new job, are you ready? Or you will be fired from your job, are you ready? You will meet the love of your life today, are you ready? You are never being asked if you are ready or not. You are just kind of put in front of the situation, and then you have to deal with the situation, and it's up to you how you will deal with that situation. So this was me dealing with that situation. So deal with the situation, because you have the ability to do so. You have. And I believe in you. And I know that you can do it. I am proud of you. You can do it. I did it. I did it. I healed it. And even though the emotions can be loud, but does it make me a wrong person or bad person? Because back there I used to think, for example, when I was writing my poetry or even this poem, I couldn't write it for a couple of days. I remember sitting on my computer, and my hands were like this, and I was pressing the letters like this. I wasn't like this, I was like this, because it was so hard to write it, to go back to the situation, to admit those emotions. It was so freaking hard. But I knew that it needs to be done, and even now I can feel those emotions, because this is my heart. It's my heart, in my soul. It's my soul. Nobody wrote it for me. I wrote it with tears in my eyes. So naturally that I feel those emotions. And back then, like a year and a half ago, yes, I was feeling those emotions because I still loved that person. I was missing that person. I wanted that person back. Now, if I feel, if I cry, it's because of me, of the situation I went through. It's because of the emotions I went through. And those emotions were real. This book is real. It's my heart, it's my soul, it's my tears. It's real. And is it bad when I feel bad, like when I feel those emotions? Because I know that there is this trend in the world that you have to feel good, or you have to leave the past behind in order to move on. But what does it mean? What does it mean, leaving past behind? I can't just delete those emotions from my head, like what I once felt. I can't delete those memories from my head. I cannot, and I wouldn't even want to, because all those emotions and all the things that I went through, and because I still remember them, I am the way I am today. That's what made me my version of today. If I didn't have it in my head, it would mean that there is big chance that I would need to live it again in order to experience it, in order to be better version of myself. So I'm super glad that I went through it and that I can still feel it, because that means that okay, this is like check mark, done, experienced, felt, done, let's move on. And that's the point. So does it make me bad person? It would make me bad person if I would be crying because I still love that person. He will always have a special place in my heart, but it's like I don't want him back. I want somebody new. I want somebody who will adore me, who will appreciate me, who will be obsessed with me in healthy way. I want new start. So I am not like standing here waiting on his voice message or his message, his call. No, like I hope he's happy wherever he is. I hope he is healthy, and that's it. So I'm not going back to those emotions, and I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget. So I am not a bad person because I felt something, and those emotions were real for me. At least for me, it was very real, and I'm not a bad person because of it. So that's for today's poem. I'm pretty sure it's so long already. If you are still here, I appreciate you so much. I love you, and I'm so thankful that you are still here. Please give it like or comment your thoughts, because it will really it's kind of the way how to support me. If you are curious about this book, it's available on Amazon along with my other book, Heartbreak Cocktail. I have also paintings which are available on Etsy at the moment, so if you're curious, you can check it. If not, it's absolutely okay. I'm very happy that I am having you here. I already have a couple of poems published, so if you're curious, you can check those out. And we still have more poems to go, because currently Unwanted Visit is like 10th poem in the book, but I still haven't read the first poem of the book, and there is in total there's I think like 33 poems, so there's still a long way to go, and I'm curious and excited to dive into those poems along the way with you. So yeah, that will be all. Thank you. Bye.